Hello, hello. Oh, hey. I'm not as late as normal, but not as early as I was yesterday. I'm here. It's the important thing. So, yeah, no, the topic for today changed quickly because EFAP decided to cover somebody who has been making videos that have had titles that have intrigued me, but I have not seen anything he's done yet. And I've heard a lot of people, a lot of friends talking about how his last video was really, really, really good, and that's the video that EFAP decided to go after. So I thought, let's very suddenly today adjust what my plan is. So, we'll go over. Here, I'll go ahead and show you the YouTube channel. Anthony Gramuglia. I'm That's probably right. Anyways, no, I've seen him floating around Twitter for a little bit, honestly. And the video he did that first caught my eye. What? Wow. Is it that? Yeah, no, I guess so. It's three months ago. I didn't think it was that old. Anyways, it was the X-Men one. It's always been woke. I thought about looking at it, but I never got around to it. So yeah, and then, he just did the YouTube critics are lying to you, and, I can't really tell his examples, I just see Ray and Literature Devil. Literature Devil is full of shit, I can tell you that. But yeah, I thought what I could do is go ahead and we could start this video and, just kind of see my basic thoughts of it. I don't know if I'll have time to go over all of it, because I have comic books to cover. So we'll start this and look into it, and then we'll go over some comic books, and then we'll look over the EFAP coverage of this and see who I agree with. Do I agree with Anthony here, or do I agree with EFAP? Is it bad faith when I say I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but um, is that bad faith or just fucking experience and knowledge? But yeah, how's everybody doing? Lucifer, I know Lucifer. I saw you in there. Lucifer, if I give somebody a mod ability, you can use it as you wish. If I feel like you abuse it, I will take it away. But like, if I give you the mod ability, it just means I see you around enough. I think you're good. And Mikael, hey, you're under your old one. Cool. But yeah, and then did Patrick Six Williams actually throw some shade at EFAP? If so, awesome. I need to watch more Patrick H. Williams. My problem with Patrick H. Williams is I always watch him with my daughter. So if I don't so whenever I think to watch him, my daughter's not around, and it's like, well, and then I forget. So I just need to remember to watch him when my daughter's around, because yeah, she'll be like, "What are you doing watching Patrick H. Williams without me?" It's like, okay, I'll wait. So that gotta check out some of his videos. Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to do like a video going after him or something. That's my job. But no, but yeah, let's go ahead and check out this Anthony Gramuglia video. YouTube critics are lying to you. A bad medium criticism essay. Oh, looks like he's got just a robot on there. That's a classy dude.
When Kong Skull Island first hit theaters, the YouTube channel Cinema Sins did a video detailing all the ways the film sinned in their popular Everything Wrong With series. This would have been an unremarkable video for them if not for the director of Kong Skull Island, Jordan Vogt-Roberts, taking to Twitter to criticize the video. Tons of movie reviews are criticized by their creators, but Vogt-Roberts' perspective gained traction because, well, he was right. The big criticism? That the review from CinemaSins flat out lied about his movie.
It looks like this movie spent half its budget on rain machines and made sure key scenes took place with them involved, so we couldn't hear the dialogue. Cole's not excited about the bombs going off. He's just happy that the director chose him for the obligatory destruction reflecting off sunglasses shot. Just out of curiosity, if a landmass has this much of a reputation, why is it just now being discovered?
As the director summarizes, critics like CinemaSins want to appear smarter than the media they criticize.
CinemaSins isn't playing a character, they're just nitpicking movies as themselves. Jeremy even acknowledged this in his Reddit AMA, saying, "I've always been a hyper-observant, nitpicking jerk. Everything wrong with is just a manifestation of that."
So this is not the first time I've discussed bad media criticism on my channel, and it's not going to be the last time either. Bad media criticism is a term that's thrown around a lot.
Dishonest storytelling uses narrative elements in far more petty and biased ways. Taking one's limited perspective and writing it as the entire truth is dishonest.
Bad media criticism isn't simply just disagreeing with someone. It's not saying something you don't agree with. It's when the criticism itself seems to fundamentally misinterpret the piece of media being discussed, even when it's supposedly going through a scene frame by frame by frame.
A peach!
Yeah.
Princess Peach!
Yeah.
Giving her pants!
Yeah.
Now, bad media criticism exists everywhere. YouTube is not unique in this regard. Part of the reason I made the jump to YouTube over written media was due to wanting to distance myself from several hot takes in media publishing designed to draw hate clicks. And if I'm going to draw criticism, it's going to be because I said something ridiculous. I don't want to be associated with someone else's bad media takes. I want to be associated with my own.
So apparently Anthony Gramuglia was uber triggered by the most 3 devastating sentences he's ever heard. Peter Parker isn't gay. There's 60 plus years of comics proving this. Stop ruining characters by playing politics. So, like a typical precious snowflake, Anthony penned a 1,400 word rant just to call me a homophobe.
So if I screw up on my own terms. However, there's a danger to YouTube. Even though it's the independent channel and you're not being linked to a greater company or organization, bad media takes take...
So far, I don't have any objections, obviously. Seems reasonable. If you want my take, I don't care if Spider-Man's gay. I guess I don't know. I always preferred him with Mary Jane Watson, but if it's well written, that's the key. That all these the anti-fans, the chuds, that's the thing they always seem to forget. It's all in the fucking delivery. That's the key. Do a good job with it, I'll forgive a lot.
Up a lot of attention, they draw a lot of clicks, they draw a lot of anger, and some channels feed on that rage. They feed on the anger drawn by a certain audience, and that draws more attention. And the algorithm rewards bad takes and bad faith criticism.
But unlike all of those previous failures, this one tries to have a woke plot twist. She's not the mother of the savior, she's actually the savior herself. Yeah, I felt nothing at this reveal.
The more outrageous, the better.
And to try to pin the fact that mutants are minorities as proof that it's
Hey, I've debunked that video.
social justice is both intellectually lazy and dishonest.
Now, negative reviews have always done this to an extent. There's a sort of joy some people get feeling like they're better than the movie, that they've beaten the movie, that they've outsmarted it. This isn't new. Some of Roger Ebert's best reviews are the ones where he tears into a film.
I hated this movie. Hated this movie. Hated it. Hated every simpering, stupid, vacant, audience-insulting moment of it.
There's a whole book of these. But there's a difference between writing an honest review giving your thoughts and approaching each and every film with the intention of criticizing it. And more than criticizing it, mocking it.
Kind of a forgettable show. Look, acting was great. Cinematography was great. The writing was good. But it was a lot of little things. I mean, when we saw the camera in the previous episode, there were like screws in the wall.
This isn't like Mystery Science Theater 3000 riffs, all right?
I forgot about that critique. I think that was a critique of Andor, where it's like, it's all good, but like, I don't like it. There's like screws in the wall and stuff. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, you're not wrong, Mikhail. You're not wrong. I'm just saying, if they blew me away with a storyline where they rewrote Spider-Man as gay, like some sort of alternate universe take or something, I'm not against it. I'm.
In those you laugh with both, the hosts and the film itself.
There. Sure glad I don't look stupid in this.
This is the kind of media criticism that approaches each film as a puzzle. How is this media bad? And by that same metric, how can I solve the problem of the movie? Rather than take the film on its own terms, you come in knowing your goal, to tear it apart.
Pushing identity politics and the message. They done woke it up!
Some famous critical reviews have forced you to reevaluate a film. Mel Brooks' comments on Life is Beautiful, a film that implies you can laugh through the darkest times, even genocide, forced a lot of people to reevaluate this award-winning film. Chinua Achebe's famous criticisms of Heart of Darkness rewrote academic textbooks for decades and led to the creation of Achebe's counterpart to Hearts of Darkness, Things Fall Apart. But one thing both of these criticisms have in common: they address the themes and ideas of the work. When referencing specifics, it's in order to bolster the argument that the themes are fundamentally wrong. Patrick Willems made a video a while back on plot holes that garnered a lot of negativity at the time, mainly from people who argued that holes in logic and plot were essential to criticize. You had to focus on them, and to an extent that makes sense, right? The plot is the story, right?
No one seems to actually know what a plot hole is. And all those plot holes people complain about, they don't actually matter.
By criticizing plot holes, we'd understand some deeper truth about storytelling, right?
A plot hole is a point in which a story breaks a previously established rule about its own universe. So here's what are not plot holes.
These critics seem to believe that by understanding the technical flow of a plot, that you'll understand all the components of storytelling. I disagree. The way a film makes you feel is more important than the plot as written on a plot summary, right? There are more components to a film and its story than just the plot. That is the written events as they occur. A lot more happens beyond the plot.
So I definitely see how EFAP will go after this. That is like antithetical. What he just said is antithetical to pretty much everything EFAP stands for. He's not wrong though, too. A large part of why we attach ourselves to movie is our emotional reaction to it. That's why objective criticism really doesn't exist. You can't call a movie objectively bad, because so much of it, because it's art. It's how our emotions are affected by the piece. Just that simple.
My recent video essay comparing the film Excalibur to the works of Zack Snyder focused on the way Snyder and Excalibur failed to employ their characters effectively. From a plot standpoint, Excalibur works perfectly fine. There are several events that happen, and while a few plot beats come out of nowhere, on paper, it's the story of King Arthur.
Swear faith to me, and you shall have mercy. I need battle lords such as you.
What the film faltered in was characterization and how it rushed through its themes. But on the other hand, dismissing the film's stunning visuals and music in order to focus on just the plot and how the plot flows is a huge disservice to Excalibur. The plot is easy to talk about. You don't need to study cinematography to get it. It's also the easiest thing to lie about, because frankly, most people do not follow every component of the plot as it unfolds before them. For the sake of argument, consider Blade Runner, one of the essential sci-fi films of the 80s. The film is on paper about a police officer, Deckard, a Blade.
Yeah, and fun fact, I mostly agree with the Patrick H. Willems' take on plot holes. I was shocked at the negative reaction it got because I was like, "It's not wrong, guys."
Runner hunting down rogue androids, known as replicants, from space. He finds them, exterminates them, and then runs away with a woman he is infatuated with who also happens to be a replicant. On paper, this sounds unremarkable, cliche almost. So much of this story is told, however, through subtle means outside of the main plot. For one, Deckard always looks miserable. Hunting replicants is never shown to be exciting or thrilling. One replicant runs from Deckard before being gunned down. The final replicant, Batty, chases Deckard across the city and ultimately saves him before talking about the nature of life and passing away.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
We're shown these dark, crowded streets promoting life on the off-world colonies. We're seeing an overpopulated city and the promise of somewhere better. We learn also that these colonies are being built primarily through the slave labor of the replicants, who are given only 4 years to live. And many replicants are so human that it's almost impossible to tell them apart without exact tests. And some of these replicants don't even realize that they're human.
She doesn't know.
She's beginning to suspect, I think.
Suspect? How can it not know what it is?
Commerce.
A blanket plot summary would overlook these key details of the film. That's why there's more to a film than its plot.
Quite an experience to live in fear, isn't it? That's what it is to be a slave.
Now, I'm not here to talk about Blade Runner today, but I can if you ask me to. The point of this little exercise is to highlight how little some people engage with media outside of the plot. In fact, studios realized that audiences might not pick up on any of this. Any of the story, all this stuff beyond the plot, they wouldn't pick up on. That's why they forced Ridley Scott to make Harrison Ford spell out the subtext to audiences in one of the most widely criticized elements of the theatrical cut of Blade Runner.
Recreational facility. They don't advertise for killers in a newspaper.
Harrison Ford's bored, exhausted narration, where he just tells you what's happening in front of you.
I'd quit because I'd had a belly full of killing, but then I'd rather be a killer than a victim. And that's exactly what Bryant's threat about little people meant.
This is widely seen as a big mistake. That being said, some bad media critics might need this. They might not get the plot otherwise, unless it's spelled out to them by a bored Harrison Ford dragged back, at 4 o'clock in the morning to read a script.
Just out of curiosity, if a landmass has this much of a reputation, why is it just now being discovered?
Because if, let's say they might just shout plot hole whenever... Here's an example of a plot hole in Blade Runner. During Batty's final speech to Deckard, he mentions, going to Orion, which is a star system deep in space. Way longer than the 4 years lifespan could ever allow you to travel.
Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion.
Now, some might argue that's a technical plot hole. I argue it doesn't matter, because the focus on that scene is to show that Batty has seen things, and all these moments will be lost in time, like
tears in rain.
And that's compelling. The emotion is compelling. The technical details, who cares? The idea is that Batty has seen things, these things matter, and that in a few minutes, it'll be forgotten. The themes are more powerful than the technical elements of the plot. But if you approached every film like a CinemaSins ticker, then you'd say, oh, plot hole, this movie's bad. Like, who cares? Doesn't matter. Doesn't affect your enjoyment.
I don't know why he saved my life. Maybe in those last moments he loved life more than he ever had before.
Part of the reason why the question if Deckard is a replicant annoys me is because people get caught up in the technicalities and not the why. The question being unanswered is so important because it forces audiences to question human nature. As they say in the film,
it's too bad she won't live. But then again, who does?
Now that question is more profound than an hour-long fan theory video breaking down the evidence for this theory. The theory is told in brushstrokes on a canvas, not a chart. It's impressionistic, not concrete. The thing is with bad media criticism, the ultimate point is to keep you engaged. That's why the sins ticker goes up. That's why a new criticism is made every second, more vitriolic than the last. If you think about some of the criticisms critically, you'll pick them apart. Good media criticism forces you to reevaluate a text, and even if you disagree, you might have at least thought about it. Erroneous criticism, which I'm definitely guilty of, they might make you, that's when you make an error once or twice or 3 times. It's in good faith, but you might make an error about something. Even then, that still forces you to go, hey, wait a second, that's wrong. And then the critic, if they're being in good faith, will go, oh, you're right, I am wrong, I apologize. Or to some extent, to revise their argument. That's good faith criticism. Bad faith criticism comes from the approach that I am right, you're wrong, no matter what you say I am right, and I will always be right even if you point out every error I made and spelled it out to me.
Wow. That sounds like EFAP. I'm not going to watch too much longer because I'm kind of just stealing content at this point, but it's a good fucking video. I think he's done a good job. We'll watch a couple minutes longer, then we'll go into comic books, and then we will see what EFAP has to say. Although watching this video, I'm pretty sure what EFAP has to say. And I'm pretty sure I'm not on their side.
Discourse is full of self-contradictory phrases that people love to say a lot but don't actually adhere to. Chief among them is, I respect your opinion even though I disagree with it. This is an oxymoron.
That is the key difference. The refusal to accept when you are wrong.
If you're negative, you're going to have the screeching of 1,000 illiterate fucksticks descend upon you like a horde of sweaty, unwashed, transphobic bats.
And the insistence on doubling down when you are wrong.
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns!
Bad media criticism's ultimate goal, though, is to supplant the original media in your mind. And the way they do that is by sometimes just making shit up.
Characters as powerful as Dream, or as supposedly perfect as Superman, are well liked and aren't usually considered Mary Sue's, is because the plot doesn't treat them as such. If a fresh-faced farm boy who's never even seen a sword suddenly picks one up, and without any kind of outside divine or supernatural aid, defeats a war veteran of 15 years in single combat, you likely just witnessed a Mary Sue moment.
Trained my entire life to master my senses. Where did you train? On a farm?
Plot doesn't treat them as such.
They'll either misrepresent scenes, omit key details to make their point land better, or in some cases, lie.
So this is pretty wild. In spite of mostly positive reviews from both sides of the culture.
Oh, John Della Rose, a Nazi. Nice. Nice. Hey, John, you're probably watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, my dude.
War. Disney's X-Men 97 appears to be a complete flop in terms of viewership.
And don't worry, we're going to go into a couple examples of that soon enough. But the question you might have is, why would they do that?
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
The reason is ultimately engagement. The algorithm on YouTube, and honestly the internet at large, rewards engagement. The longer you stay on something, the better it is. The more you click on it, the better it is. What keeps someone engaged? New reasons to be emotionally invested, either to be angry or to be frustrated or justified in your own predetermined beliefs before coming to the page or the video. This is why you usually see a lot of 2 kinds of reviews on YouTube. Concise and straightforward reviews that make a point and then end, or the massive sprawling videos that go on for hours and hours and hours and end, sometimes longer than the source material itself. Long-form reviews are very entertaining if you get the right people working on them. Or, at the very least, they're the kind of thing you can listen to while doing other work. I mean, you can tune in and you can follow along very well. I'm sure some of you are doing that with this video right now. When I was in college, I wrote essays while listening to Red Letter Media's Star Wars reviews.
Star Wars The Phantom Menace was the most disappointing thing since my son.
However, to keep audiences engaged and for longer, what a lot of reviewers resort to is hyper-emphasizing the negative, finding new things to critique every 5 seconds. Focus on a new plot hole, focus on a new cliche, focus on a new trick that pulls the plot along in order to trick you into thinking you're having fun. In the more extreme examples, anything that tries to invoke an emotion in the audience is deemed manipulative. It's deemed cheap by the critic. Now, a bad faith media critic will take away the themes and ideas of a work in order to solve the problems the media presents, it being good being that problem. Why is The Last Jedi so awful? How is Steven Universe bad, actually? How is...
Sorry, I'm just trolling Lucifer a bit, man. You're awesome, Lucifer.
Sherlock bad, actually? Oh, wait, that actually was a good video, actually. Why is Totally Spies just 99 DeviantArt fetishes? Okay, well, that's actually just not a video on YouTube, I think, but it should be. I'm done dodging around the point, though. What are some examples of bad media criticism? Let's start with the Mary Sue criticism. One of the more widely used ones. Every female character is stamped with this moniker, from Captain Marvel to Rey Skywalker. And, does this always apply?
Luke Skywalker stands as a good character, and why Rey stands as a lifeless, blatant Mary Sue.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, what's a Mary Sue anyway? The origins of the term date back to the Star Trek fandom, as a parody of the self-insert characters who are just good at everything they do, and everyone loves them, and they're just fantastic, they can do no wrong, and they're just better than everyone else. Making fun of pure wish fulfillment. Now, what separates a true Mary Sue from, say, your Luke Skywalkers or other heroes is the lack of struggle.
Pushed onto us under the thin veneer of homage, the stories of Rey and Luke Skywalker make a fairly easy side-by-side comparison.
Everything should just come to the character naturally being able to do everything without needing to grow or develop. They start at a point of perfect skill level and never need to improve. And outside of skill level, they also just have perfect relationships with everyone.
Which means Rey and Luke are both expected to begin their journey as relatively normal people, discounting legendary fathers, ancient prophecies, etc.
Let's look at a few common criticisms of Rey to see why people think she's a Mary Sue.
Luke Skywalker is introduced with a particular set of skills, such as general knowledge.
We'll finish the Mary Sue part and then we'll get to comments.
On droids, how to drive, and how to use weaponry. Now, how does he know these things? Believe it or not, the movie doesn't need to tell us directly. It is a movie after all. It can show us things, and we, as the audience, can make logical connections. Rey doesn't have anything for the audience to connect with. Instead, the movie decides to focus on how alone she is. In fact, you could say that she's almost like a human version of Pixar's WALL-E, without the humanity. Luke was taught farming skills by his uncle because his uncle was a farmer. The movie spends a decent amount of time establishing this fact, while Rey can scavenge and survive alone on the desert home planet because she's just awesome.
So one big criticism of Rey is that—
Oh, wow. I mean, that's just a terrible criticism right there. She's just awesome. We don't know how long she's been alive for, but like, I assume she's learned how to survive on her own. People usually do that when they're dumped in a situation where they just have to survive. They usually figure it out or die. It's not that tricky. Holy shit.
That she seems to be good at everything. She never loses a fight, she knows the Millennium Falcon better than Han does, can do the Force without training. So let's break a couple of these down.
3 different systems.
What'd you do?
I bypassed the compressor.
The easiest scene to discuss is the scene where Rey fixes the Falcon's hyperdrive.
Rey fixing the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo, its former owner. The usual defense for this is that Rey is a scavenger.
Okay, so Han Solo has never been good at fixing the Millennium Falcon. That's always been more Chewbacca's thing. But also, it's been in the junkyard for a while. Like, she found it.
And lives alone, and can therefore fix things like a trained mechanic. But we don't know this for sure.
Most bad faith criticism.
She worked in a junkyard. That will give you lots of mechanic skills. It's not that big of a leap, dude.
Ignore the fact that she was aware of the modifications made to the Falcon, since Han had it.
Some moof milker put a compressor on the ignition line.
Unkar plucked it. I thought it was a mistake too. Puts too much stress on the hyperdrive.
Oh, wow. They even explain it directly in the fucking movie. Wow.
And during a key scene, bypasses a modification made after Han lost the Falcon that made the Falcon function worse.
I bypassed the compressor.
And once more, the movie had the perfect opportunity for a setup and missed it entirely.
Some moof milker put a compressor on the ignition line.
But we don't know this for sure.
That's all information she's seen firsthand, so naturally she knows this.
Rey is introduced with unexplained expert fighting skills, technical skills, and magical expert level piloting skills despite only dabbling. Still no sign of a mentor.
She's not an expert fighter. She does well with the staff. I wouldn't call her an expert at all. None of this stuff is expert level. It's just she's skilled. My God, Literature Devil is so bad at this.
And she uses all these skills to save the day.
As for fighting, well, Rey grew up on a desert world where scavengers fight for scraps. We even see her fighting in the background of a scene, demonstrating her lived experience before she demonstrates it in a fight. What lived experience does Luke Skywalker have fighting?
Where did you train? On a farm?
He's plays with toys all his life.
A scavenger, without the benefit of Finn's decades of military-level training, has no sign of a mentor and is completely self-taught. How does she fare against Kylo Ren, who, if you recall, has been trained by not one, but two legendary mentors?
So let's count the times Rey wins a fight on her own without any help. Now, we're going to ignore any stormtrooper fights because, honestly, who in Star Wars can't just fight through stormtroopers? It's redundant to discuss that. So her first major fight is in The Force Awakens, where she fights Kylo Ren, and she's beaten in 5 seconds and then gets kidnapped. Later she fights Kylo Ren again, and Kylo Ren at this point has had a hole blasted in him by Chewie and just fought Finn. And that fight ends with the planet breaking apart beneath them after Rey lands one hit. So it's not a definitive win, but she was winning against a guy who had fought, was tired, and had a giant hole in his stomach. Then in The Last Jedi, she fights Snoke and gets swung around like a ragdoll. Then she teams up with Kylo Ren against the Praetorian Guard, and again, only wins with Kylo's help. Then they force struggle over a lightsaber, and neither win. Rey doesn't get an unambiguous victory on her own until Rise of Skywalker, where she manages to land a serious blow on Kylo Ren, but Kylo Ren is distracted by the memory of his mother at that time. So she lands a hit on a guy whose back is turned to her. And that's her second fight with Kylo Ren in that movie, 4th or 5th in total, depending on how you count the lightsaber struggle. And then she beats Palpatine by turning his Force lightning back at him. So out of all those fights, she only unambiguously wins in the last film, and even then there's some conditional statement that's paired with that.
Narratively speaking, if the goal is to run Rey through a hero's journey, it would be better if she could defend herself but not be able to actually defeat them. It would show weakness, vulnerability. In other words, it would show her potential, but also leave room to grow.
And look, Rey isn't a perfect character. And Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, isn't perfect. You want me to criticize her? Okay. Her entire arc is centered on waiting to be destined for something. The first film, she's waiting for her family. Second film, she's trying to figure out her heritage, her position in this grander story. The fact that The Last Jedi ends without her resolving the core conflict of the plot is a key element. She has no predestined part to play in the saga. But through her actions, she becomes the hero. Anyone can be the hero, regardless of where you came from, except no, because the third film shows us she has a lineage, and there's a reason why her family never came back, and she's part of this big grand destiny to stop Palpatine's return. And you get all the answers that completely undermine all the legwork made leading up to this point. There are genuine issues with the sequel trilogy. Why was Finn set up to be a Jedi, and then there's no payoff? Why does The Rise of Skywalker completely veer off track of the story that the prior two films set up? Why is Kylo Ren, a character who's positioned to be the big bad, supplanted when he finally gets to a position of power where he can be the villain that he always wanted to be? These are issues that are harder to discuss than simply going, there's a plot hole, Rey's a Mary Sue. These are complex questions with complex answers, and you're not going to get those from someone who just wants to complain about Rey winning every fight that she partakes in. Honest criticism requires honest thought, and that doesn't always culminate in a dopamine hit to the audience. It takes longer. People are going to lose interest if you have to set up the elements of a discussion about themes and dive into complex ideas. What they want is that dopamine hit 30 seconds in to continue watching.
Pushing identity politics.
Okay, so this is I went further in this video than I wanted to, but excellent video. I highly recommend it. I'll finish it later. I recommend you guys go check it out. Anthony Gramuglia. I'm going to go ahead and finish this stream, but yeah, here's the link. Go ahead and queue it up and start up when this stream's over. I highly recommend it. We're gonna go ahead and hit up some comic books right now, and then we will look at EFAP's coverage. Yeah, I know a lot of people in the initiative Discord were talking about they had seen it and recommended it. So, yeah, you know what? Yes, subscribe. You know what? Yeah, we'll like it. Yeah, it's a very good video, and I'll give him a sub. Boom. So yes, let's go ahead and do some comic books here. Here we go. All right, so first comic book for today will be Return of Jake Sunrise #4. I don't even see Dean in chat today, but we'll be covering the latest Jake Sunrise. This one just came out. Excited to see the last 2 issues of this series, but we got words by Dean Page, edit by Leland Burge, letters by Marco Delaventure, lines by Vin Dulé, created by Josh Curley and Dean Page. This one's The Wheel. The fog swallows the vastness of the plains. A lone prairie home, once exposed among such great expanse, is set presently upon a secluded stage. The surrounds are drawn tight, a black box of white. So essentially, Dean here is setting this stage. We got this group of bandits hanging out in a cabin. You got a wolf outside, a couple wolves it looks like. Anyways. Oh wait, did we become part of the conversation? Oh, or we just jump in the middle. Okay. If it was more than a couple, we'd seen them a ways off before this all came in. So what's to worry? There's 5 of us. The man rises from the wooden chair and removes his coat from the backrest. I wish you hadn't hit that old fella. Mighty white of you, Redman. He scoffs while fumbling to the sleeve. Like that'd be the difference anyhow. Completing his turn as he stands, the other punctuates his reply. Could be. Maybe we get infamous like Robin Hood, robbing the rich and giving to those who ain't got nothing. We're bank robbers. We're not giving nobody nothing. The twins nod their heads. Who says we got it? We ain't got nothing. Why taking for ourselves is just the same as giving to some other poor fools. Hell, we're heroes. Those smug fellows in the suits are bigger thieves than we'll ever be, and everyone knows it. He searches among his compatriots while one continues to survey the ceiling. The twins study the floorboards. Having finally put on and adjusted the coat, the man turns towards the door. I'm gonna go piss. It's just out past. Yeah, I saw it when I came in. The guide rope's right over there. Yeah, I see the rope. The door closed behind him as one twin elbows the other, who cross the room to lower the door latch. Lying man remains unmoved. As he lowers himself back to his seat of the bed, the brothers go stiff as the rope goes taut and snaps. He gulps, unable to completely understand what he's seeing. Then suddenly, as if woken from a dream, he leaps, seizing it in desperation. The others look at each, sputters out the choking minute. When finally the lure is released and he tumbles to the floor with a slack in hand. As they jolt at the crease of the floorboards as the fallen man stands. Strangely ashamed, the twin lays down the rope. This is your comeuppance, as shall it always be for those unrepentant. Though he speaks softly, the homeowner's voice startles the men. Mister, ain't none of us out trying to be bad. It's each other makes us that way. None of our own none of our own none of our hands are clean. There are strands of threads embedded in his palm. They killed Ace. The twins wince while removing them. He takes the opportunity to wash sweat and exasperation off his face. So yeah, they're all getting a little tense. Who do you think it is, Nick? Sheriff's posses, marshals? They won't be on us so quick. I don't know. Maybe the townsfolk put out bounty. I told Ace we shouldn't wallop on the folk except when we need to. Who'd have thought Nick Johnson, the sensitive Sioux savage? Watch your damn mouth. I ain't no savage. Hell, I went to boarding school. Bet you can't even read. You obviously don't know the least, not much. So yeah, there's bickering between each other. They're getting tense. I know you ain't deaf, you mute idiot. Hey, that's my brother you're talking to. Trey's right. Get away from the window. If we don't all make it through, none of us will. I plan on getting out here with that money. And creepy face. It was smiling. He says he saw the devil. What? The devil looks like a demon. His tiny brain's broken. The simpletons finally lost it. All right. All right, now, come on. Go check the window. But I said you to stay away from the window. You can check for monsters under the bed next. So, yeah, creeping towards the window, and he sees the demon out there. He squints at the yellow eyes that do not blink back. The smile does not move. And then the mask just shoots him in the head. The revolver's rapport fills the room as the lifeless body collapses to the floor. It goes quiet, save for the sobbing of a sibling until, "You yellow-bellied coward! Goddamn fools!" And they're blasting away. The sinister silence returns. Nick stares at the corpse, imagining himself in their place. The cellar. The homeowner's words rose from him from his trance. There's a basement. Where's the hatch? Under the footlocker. Drew, come on. Let's... Nick sucks on his teeth and then audibly exhales. He hesitates and pricks up his ears. Nothing. He listens once more. Stillness. Beams of light squeeze through the floorboards above, helping Nick's eyes adjust. Yet what he sees, the bars of the cage are closed together that a child would fail to escape. Nick's heart beats in his throat with both fear and anger. Drew, buddy, come here for a minute. We gotta talk. I mean, we need a plan or else. I'm sorry for your friend and for this gun. The shaking, that is. He first notices the blood, a growing pool on the wooden boards. The thing they showed up here for you guys, right? I think what's best is that I turn you over to him. I saw the cages, you sick son of a bitch. I'm saving those children. Their parents raised them in sin. They don't truly love their precious immortal souls, not like I do. It was only recently that I required Lux to keep them at my side. God, just a whole crew of shitheads. Oh, somebody's knocking in the door, throwing down the helmet. Nick recognized the mask from his days at boarding school. Father Manouk. Blam! The sound of a single shot dampened by fog. And that's it. So, whole crew of scumbags. And Jake Sunrise slowly picks them off one by one. Very good book. I'd probably go 4.5 on this one. I love the artwork on this issue. I think it does a good one. Yeah. No, I mean it cuts away, and it's like, yeah, no, that just looks badass. And I do kind of like how it breaks down at the end to essentially the guy just realizing that the homeowner's a real piece of shit and just finishing the job for Jake Sunrise for him. I dig that. Um, no, this is a very good one. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I am looking forward to Jake Sunrise #4, The House. That should be fun. But yeah, very good book. Good job, Dean. When Dean pops up with new Kickstarters and stuff, you guys should jump in. And I think he has a page up for his books in general. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure. But anyways, next book I wanted to cover was going to go ahead be Dracula Blood Hunt #1. Get the Blood Hunt book out of the way. This seemed like the most relevant Blood Hunt book to cover, and since I already covered the you guys voted for Avengers #14, I covered that yesterday. I was like, well, let's go ahead and cover this one because this one seems really relevant to issue 2. We saw in the free comic book day comic that Dracula approached Brielle, Blade's daughter, to help for them to help deal with the vampires. And then we saw in issue 2 of Blood Hunt how they, essentially they're out killing vampires and they go over to Doctor Strange's place. And this story takes place in between there, so it seemed reasonable to see what happens there. So, Marvel Comics presents Blood Hunt Dracula. Previously, Dracula is a legendary immortal lord of the vampires who rules his undead nation from his stronghold in Vampirisk, the vampire nation. Brielle Brooks is the daughter of Blade, the half-human, half-vampire monster hunter. Brielle, a.k.a. Bloodline, inherited her father's superhuman strength, reflexes, senses, and used them to defend against the creatures of the night. Editor's note, the events of this issue take place before Blood Hunt #2. And then, the dawn is ending, and yet I arm myself with weapons to defend it, not aid its failing. I don my strongest armor, grasp my strongest sword, and remind myself. I have yet to claim the strangest piece of my arsenal. Vampire Nation, Sun Death, negative 1 hour? 1 minute? Probably 1 hour. So this is before the sun got blood hot. And then it's like, the spies returned, allow her in. Lord Dracula, I'm blessed by the opportunity to report to you directly. Be quick about it. There's little time. The situation is exactly as predicted. Everyone is in place for your arrival in Atlanta. However, the unrest has already begun. Rumors of distant, both here and overseas, vampires who see the changing tide as potential traitors are to be dealt with immediately, of course. Regardless of the root of their discontent, using this moment to take out those disloyal to you, even if it is not connected to the dark magic at play, I'm honored to take part in the cleansing. Indeed. And your other mission? The girl, Brielle Brooks, is alive, unaware she's being watched. You've confirmed this with your own eyes and yours alone? Of course. And good. And then he kills her. We do not have time to clean up even more loose ends. Zarius, her blood will be enough to fuel my travel. Have the blood mages make the final preparation. So, and then we come to Atlanta. Sun Death, I assume 3 hours and 33 minutes away. I feel the moment dawn ends. So after school, we're going to my place to study, right? Sure, as long as you're still coming up. So yeah, she's just going to school. Yep. Anyways, it's not like any more teams. What else am I doing? Hunting? If you're talking about the video game we were dreaming up, it's important to me that the vampire hunting protagonist with a famous vampire hunting dad has a life outside of hunting. Besides, we talked about her power set. Late sunset means no powers until late at night. Hey guys, feel something? Oh no. And then, yeah, the sun blot out, and then she seems to be really affected. And they're asking, "Are you okay?" I don't know. I don't know. Don't touch me. I feel strange. Um, the way I do at night, except it's off. Something is causing this. I've got to find out what. Oh my God, Reb, I didn't. So she's Actually, it's not really like. Is that a superpower thing she's doing? Like, it's not clear. Like, this panel kind of confused me last night. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on because they're at distance and they're at distance. Did she throw something at him, maybe? I don't know. Oh, maybe her backpack. Yeah, it looks like she threw the backpack at him. Okay. I didn't, and she threw it a lot harder than she was anticipating, so it threw her off. So she's obviously a lot stronger, and she's like, it's still getting darker, and then she tears the door off the car. So, yeah, I think someone else is going to have to drive tomorrow. Anyway, so we're back at Dracula, 20 minutes into sun death. It's rare in the modern world that cemeteries and mausoleums are truly silent. Even when the bodies are decomposing and rats have long since starved, the modern world brings too much noise. Hey, Nicholas. Traffic, power lines. Been a while since we've had an early breakfast. Be a shame if we wasted time questioning it. There are always those using technology to more pointing cameras at the resting places where faraway relatives prattle at the headstones. It is rarely silent, no matter how dark the shadows. You will do nicely. I need to find a girl. Ha! You old or out of your mind, bro. You know how ridiculous you look, right? Youthful arrogance, forever inconvenient. Yes, so easily reined in. So he kills a couple vampires there fairly quickly. And then we got Brielle. She's going through the vampire hunting stuff, kicking ass and taking names. It's good fun. He said you were just a kid. Who is he? What? More friends of yours? Everyone keeps asking about my. I got this. This is what Dad trained me for. Even as I tell myself that, I can't help but wonder who besides my dad knows who I am. Take her. Not today, bro. Bruh. So she's doing a whole bunch of vampire hunting. Then this one drinks her blood a little bit, and then she's the one whose blood is, you're gonna bite me, then get picky. I'm not so new. I think I can take on these guys without an edge. The dark sky gives me another advantage. Even as the vampires bite on my arm, and my arm pulses with pain, I can feel it healing. I run until I feel my strength coming back. I just need them to lose sight of me for a second. I hold my breath, stay still even more than I ever have. Then take the cheapest shot I've ever taken in my life. At first, I think it's just given me seconds, maybe a couple of hits on the vampires around me. I'm still going to go down. But in the momentum of the fight changes. Numbers are going down faster than I'm working. I'm not alone. My dad's the best fighter I've ever seen. Until this moment, I never knew the difference between the best fighter and the most powerful. Arm yourself, child. I think I know who this is, and I don't know why he would be fighting vampires with me. And I don't know exactly have time to freak out about it until suddenly it's quiet. There's plenty of time to freak out. I know you. You're him. You're Dracula. Then Blade told me of you. At least that part of your education isn't lacking, even if your combat remains less impressive. You come closer and I'll show you how impressive it is. You misheard me, child. You misunderstand me, child. This is not the battle I'm here to fight. You asked for this, as she does not have her father's polish nor his experience. How did you? I didn't see you, but at the very least, she has his stubbornness. Although that personality quirk will hardly be enough. Hello, Julia. You, Brielle Brooks, the daughter of my oldest enemy, the end of his bloodline. My pops wouldn't tell you who I am or where I was. No, he wouldn't. But the very same events that gave you your nocturnal gifts made finding you a child's endeavor. I did not seek you out for vengeance. though that will be of little comfort to you. The world is ending. You don't strike me as someone who'd want to spend the end of the world in Atlanta. No, I'd not hold it in the same regard as you do. But if you come with me, and we are very lucky, you might still save it and more. So, yeah. So Dracula is just recruiting her to... Oh. Weird. It's reverse. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. This is Dracula Blood Hunt #1. So yeah, she's meeting up with Dracula. He's doing some sort of ritual for them to transport. Now they're in Manhattan. It's like you don't, and we got more vampires jumping in, and then next Fangs versus Horns. So I assume Daredevil will be in the next issue. So that issue was fine. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. That story felt like the only thing about that story that introduced that I didn't know from reading the background stuff, mainly Blood Hunt books, is that her powers are super juiced, and that is it. I felt like that was kind of a filler story, although it does feel like important stuff are happening. Like it feels kind of filler. I don't know. I'm kind of 3.5 stars on that one. It was decent. I think the artwork was done. I feel like, and I don't even really want to blame anybody for that one not getting a particularly high score, because I feel like this is sometimes an effect of big crossover events. Sometimes you have books that have to be like a whole book, but they have to cover like almost no material. So, and for covering almost no material, the book was entertaining enough. It just, like, if I were to remove this book from the storyline and just run off Free Comic Book Day book and then use that to jump to Blood Hunt #2, I would lose nothing. I would have everything I need. And like I said, this book is fine. It's entertaining, but it doesn't feel necessary at all to the story. Which is weird, because I feel like these are two characters that are key components to the story. And maybe as we get into issue 2 and 3, we will see more of that. But issue 1 didn't thrill me. All right. So that brings us to, what's our next book? Oh yeah, we got some books that you guys have voted for. So Spectacular Spider-Man #1 and Alan Scott Green Lantern. Let's do Alan Scott Green Lantern. So Alan Scott Green Lantern #4. We're officially halfway through this series. This excellent series by Tim Sheridan so far. We just got to the huge reveal. Essentially, Alan Scott thought he was going insane, and I kind of thought maybe he was too. Essentially, there was an evil lantern out doing stuff, and lots of people thought he was doing it, and and it's kind of freaky, and only to find out that the other lantern was actually his lover that he thought was long dead, and now they're back. And then he has no idea how they're still alive, and this is the story of him coming face to face to him and being like, "Hey, what the fuck?" So, anyways, here we go. I was dying. My skin burned. My lungs burned harder, but somehow I wasn't afraid. I was enraged at the sea, at my country, at you, Alan, at the voice of the horrific. At the voice, that horrific voice screaming in my head. We bring death. We bring resurrection. Tim Sheridan wrote this. Sheehan Toomey is the penciler. Fantastic artwork in these books, too. I'm slaughtering Sheehan Toomey's name, or Torme's name, but they're fantastic art. They're doing a great job. I just apologize for slaughtering their name. Anyways, USSR 2023. I grew up in Belarus, in the city where my father had been stationed, though it was nothing like Gotham or New York even before the wars. There was only one road in or out in those days, and as soon as I was ready, maybe sooner, I took it. You'll be back begging like a dog. You think you can become a great soldier like I was? You're soft, boy. I was glad to leave what remained of my father's house. Years later, the great soldier would lose it in a game of Durek and die in the streets, penniless and with no sense of irony. In a few short years, my father proved. In a few short years, I proved my father wrong. I earned the respect of my fellow soldiers, and I was ready for new challenges, ones I knew the Red Army alone could never provide. And if you kept your eyes open and your mind, opportunities for advancement lay everywhere. He was the highest ranking official in the political dictatorate. I had heard them pluck soldiers from the field and turn them into spies. So I let him pluck me. It was just how would you say, dumb fortune that my first and only assignment was one unknowingly been prepared for all my life. When I was a boy, my mother taught me English by reading from a stack of books on ancient myth. We were both captivated by the legend that seemed to recur in every single one of the red fires of Berengov Moor. You call it the Crimson Flame of Death. That's much easier, thank you. I never dreamed it would be real, but word reached the dictatorate that MI8 had identified its location, and the United States was mounting a mission to harvest its very real power to gain strategic advantages over every other nation on Earth. My mission was to infiltrate the U.S. Army Engineering Unit Task Force with the retrieving the weapon and then using my position to intercept it for the glory of the Soviet Union by any means necessary. And we got Alan, looking at a picture of Alan Scott right there. So he's traveling through the countryside, doing his mission. But immediately, I knew success was all but assured. Can you guess how I knew? I'm not an engineer, a sapper, as you would say. I can't even build a wooden crate, let alone a plasma fire or containment pod. But you believed I could do anything. You tried to ignore it, but you were blinded, dazzled from the second I walked in the room, though no one else would have seen it, and there was only one possible reason. The first thing you learn in the intelligence service is to identify and adapt to every advantage that presents itself. Your desire was my advantage, and it told me that with just one touch, I could own you. So for Alan Scott, this was kind of the love of his life. He's been longing for him, and he's missed him ever since he died. For the other guy, he was fucking using him. Fucking piece of shit. I don't mean to embarrass you. It's just that you're so trusting, Alan. You made it very easy for me. And we see in the background, Alan's taking his bath, and this guy's calling up somebody. So easy right up until the end. Did you see that? See what? It was like a small flashing light out in the water. You are the only light in my eyes. Don't say things like that. You don't know who else could be out here, Corporal. Trust me, Lieutenant, there's no one else out here. Only us, which reminds me there's something I've been meaning to give you. I really could sell you on anything. The only thing I wasn't able to convince you to do was leave the flame alone. I'd gotten you to contain the thing, and there was a Soviet submersible speeding towards our location. We were so close. But you were always a hero, Green Lantern, and when you thought my life was in danger, you swooped into action. By that point, you were so convinced you were in love that there was no talking you out of it. I should have tried harder. If I had, maybe you wouldn't have had to send this thing back into the water where it waited to take my life. Though technically, it was the water that killed me, and the fire that brought me back. I didn't understand the significance then, but as the Soviet divers came to my rescue, just for a moment, I swear, I saw breaking through all the crimson light a tiny, powerful explosion of green. So yeah, he spent a while learning essentially the powers of the Red Lantern and developing them. I don't remember exactly what Red Lantern means because it's like green is the color of courage. I want to say something like that. or maybe it's ingenuity. I don't remember exactly. God, it's been a while since I've dove into my Green Lantern lore. Yellow is definitely the color of fear. I remember that very clearly. I don't remember what red is. Maybe rage. But anyways, yeah, he's becoming a Red Lantern, and then now we're caught up to modern day. That's better. Energy was starting to dip. Shows how's yours, by the way. Green as Will. Yes, thank you, Jaleel. Yes, absolutely. And speaking of rings, I can't believe you kept this. Come on, Alan. Florida State College baseball champs, really? I've never been to Florida. I'm not from your country, and even I know Florida State's been a women's college for over 30 years. No baseball team. I mean, it's such an obvious lie. You'd think I wanted to be caught. Isn't that strange? Anyway, I know my place is a bit untidy, but we couldn't stay at yours. That idiot caddy would have barged in any second. I'd have been forced to kill him too. And then, yeah, so Alan gets up a little bit fucking pissed, charges towards him. Why did you kill those men, Johnny? It's Vlad, dummy. Rhymes with Vlad. Tell me. Tag, you're it. So yeah. So yeah, Alan's not particularly happy, and they're chasing each other throughout the city. We get the family just listening to the radio, talking about the Green Lanterns fighting each other, while in the background the Green Lanterns are flying past. And then yeah, and then the problem is Alan is running out of juice. He's fizzling out. Damn it! And then Johnny's got him. What the hell? You're welcome. How are you doing this? You really have no idea what you're capable of, do you? The ancient magic of the universe, concentrated and contained within the heart of the star, didn't you even consider the possibility? Flight, strength, even energy constructs like this are child's play. But walking through solid walls, I bet you don't even know how that little wonder works. You mean moving through the fourth dimension? Yes, time. We're literally moving through space-time, and when the wall or ceiling or the mountain didn't, we won't exist. That's time travel, Alan. You didn't even know you were doing it. Honestly, this whole time, I thought you were just holding back. That's actually pretty wild. I didn't realize that's what they were doing. If only you'd opened up, have mastered this power, bent it to your will, and I wouldn't have defeated you so easily. You haven't defeated me. Please, you don't have enough power in that ring to keep your cape on, let alone walk through this bubble's fourth dimension. You're trapped, defeated. If all you want to do is defeat me, why kill those men? Why not just kill me? I didn't want to kill anyone. But you did, and not just anyone, people I was close with, and were you jealous of them? Did you even listen to my story? I'm not like you. I have a wife now. Does she know you're a what? A spy? Remember the house on the lake, on Lake George? No. We spent 2 weeks there. Of course you do. Well, after I left Arkham and after my business took off, I bought it. Why? You hated that house. But you didn't. You were happy there, and I'd never seen you so happy. Cost me a fortune since I wasn't even for sale, but I had to have it because that place had an echo, an imprint. Like a little piece of you was lingered. I'd been picking up those pieces for the years in places, things, other people. Now here you are, all the pieces put together, alive and transformed, like me, by some miracle. Well, I hope you replace the front step. Not before falling hard on my ass 1 or 2 more times. You're so stupid. No. It's kind of sweet, even though that one guy's a piece of shit. And then it's like, Alan, I'll take that. So Alan kind of uses the emotional connection to get the upper hand and get out of the trap. Then he grabs Red Lantern and he's like, Alan, stop. It's too dangerous. You can't charge your ring with that battery. Then he did. So next, The Rage of the Green Lantern, issue 5, which I do have. And I think issue 6 just came out, so I have to pick up a copy of issue 6 sometime. But we're almost done. So far, excellent series. I think Tim Sheridan's doing a fantastic job. I think most of them have gotten 4.5 stars from me, and this is just another one, 4.5 stars. Really enjoying it. Good job. Fantastic. And that brings us to the last book. This is another one you guys voted for, but this is Spectacular Spider-Man #1. I'd actually been having trouble tracking down this, but then, well, I went to that one comic shop in Cleveland, which is a little drive. But actually, I'm gonna go back there in a couple days because essentially it's gonna be something I'll have to do when my parents are watching my kid because that's where they live. But yeah, I was able to get this nice fancy one with the fancy cover. So, and this is just a book I want to check out because I was like, hey, a Peter Miles team up book that sounds like fun. So, yes. Anyways, so in media res, but yeah, you said I know. You totally promised. I know. So we got Peter and Miles here. Fighting some big monster. JXE stuff. I'm not aware of any JXE stuff. I was going over the Anthony Gramuglia stuff, and then we'll go over the EFAP response. But anyways, yeah, we got Miles and Peter. Dane, when I'm done with this comic book, if you want to come on, we can discuss it. If they're like, I don't know what's up, but like, we can figure out something. Just gotta go over this comic book, but yes, there's an XCL. Okay. Set up a room and then just let me know when it's set up, and this will probably take me like 10 to 20 minutes to go over. Anyways, yeah. Just a little weekly get together, you said. Nothing arachnobatic about it at all. Fine. So maybe things have gone a little arachnobatic. Dude, things have gotten thoroughly arachnobatic. I know. Anyways, my name is Peter Parker. I was bitten by a radioactive spider. Many years later, Miles Morales, was bitten by a genetically altered spider. The spider gave me the proportional speed, strength, and agility of a spider, adhesive fingertips, toes, and unique precognitive awareness of danger called spider sense. Mine gave me that, plus the ability to camouflage myself in a bioelectric charge I can use like a sting to form a sword-like weapon. Unfair. We defend the city, but on our own, but together. We are the Spectacular Spider-Men. Anyways, chapter 1, Arachnobatics, the regulars. Okay, well, Dane, I can step in for a little bit at 3 o'clock your time, so I will check for room around then. I will be a bit limited on time. I'll have like 15 minutes, but yeah, that'll give me time to finish this and then go over a bit of the EFAP response. Then you can wrap us up. That sounds like a plan. Anyways, then I'm talking like I don't know. Once a week, right? Say Wednesdays, 4 p.m. The Spider-Man Manhattan teams up with the Spider-Man of Brooklyn. No, Spider-Man, no team-ups. Just plain old Peter Parker meets mild-mannered Miles Morales. I'm mild? Mild-ish. So no crime fighting? No. No web slinging? No. We just hang out like normal folk? Shoot the breeze, peeking on each other's lives? Think of it as a weekly reality check, a mental health prophylactic. Stop giggling, you child. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, that I want to point out that's a joke I enjoyed. So like he says prophylactic, and then you just see somebody giggle prophylactic, and you can't tell who it is. And the one saying "Stop giggling, you child," and then he's like, "Okay, I'll stop." So Miles was telling Peter to stop giggling, you child, which I just thought was very funny. Anyways, we should do this. After all, we have so much in common. We share something no one else on this planet shares. Right, unless you count Spider-Woman or Silk, or we can commiserate, celebrate, inebriate. Well, not that last one. You're still underage and I don't drink. But we can compare notes, compare quips. Seriously, if you use something in Brooklyn that really stings the opposition, no one would know if I repeat it in Manhattan. I would know, dude. When you've been quipping as long as I have, and believe me, it feels like I've been quipping for 60 years or something, then you'll understand the need for occasional borrowed quippage. Besides, I've got some classic zingers I could lend you. Okay, maybe. The point is, this is exactly the kind of thing normal people, friends do. They take the time to touch base once in a while. Like every Wednesday, 4 p.m. And the best part is it's just a weekly get together, a total human thing for us to do. Nothing arachnobatic about it at all. Now, my bad. Fine, whatever. Meanwhile, what the heck are we fighting? The Jackal, one of my nastier nemesis. Or is it nemesises or nemesi? Focus. Sorry. Thing was, he was never this hulked out before. And then meanwhile, we got this court trial. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? No. Sir, I hold you in contempt. For what? Being honest? I mean, I'm telling you straight up, I'm going to lie. Concerning all the liars and perjurers who've testified here, you should find my candor about my lack of candor refreshing. Flummoxed you, haven't I? Man, what a rush. So what's the deal, Doc? You went and added gorilla DNA to the genetic soup you've been slurping, right? Rude. Well, if that's how you're going to behave, we'll just yank this mask off and glurp. Dude, I don't think that's a mask. And then, so where should we hold these Wednesday meetups? I don't know. Perfect place. There's a Coffee Bean on the ESU campus, which just happens to be my alma mater, a school you should consider matricizing to. Assuming I ever get out of high school, feels like I've been racing to homeroom for a decade. I feel like we go in, I like the meta things, like Spider-Man complaining about he feels like he's been doing quips for 60 years. Miles talking about he feels like he's been doing rushing to homeroom for 10 years. I appreciate the meta references going on. But anyways, I like this. We can go in, act cool, maybe meet some cute college girls. You're too young and I'm too old. Come on, you could meet a cute grad student, and I'm actually seeing someone, but a little flirt don't hurt. Fine, we won't rule it out, but that's not why we're here. Still, you never know. What can I get you? I'll have the usual, Kenny. A medium ice half latte with a shot of espresso and dash of cinnamon. And your name? Pete. P-E-T-E. Miles, yep, here you go. Thanks. How do I use the app like a normal person? Oh, my man, that's no way to become a regular. You want them to recognize you when you walk through the door. The ultimate goal is for them to know your order and your name. Peter Parker? Shashane, wow, it's been a while. What are you doing here? I have PT clients I see on campus every Wednesday. What about you? Just having coffee with a friend, not Eugene. Flash, no. Shashane, when? This is my buddy Miles Morales. He's thinking about applying here. Well, I'm thinking about applying. Hello, Miles. Well, we'll leave you to your book. Friend of yours? Friend/acquaintance, ex of an old pal. Small world. Small and just a tad awkward. One thing I will say is the artwork. Well, I think works overall. I'm not. Mainly, it's Peter's face. I don't know what it is, but Peter's face doesn't work for me in this book. Not terribly well. But anyways, we got this dude coming in. Is that Miles Morales? Cedric, man, it's a small world. Friend of yours? Peter, this is Cedric Harrison. We grew up across the street from each other. Homie, are you at ESU? Not yet, but I'm definitely applying. Cool, let me know how it goes. So now you're definitely applying? Here you go, Ced. See, that guy's a regular. Shelly, you're an angel. When you gonna dump Kong over there and be my girl? Never said I love Kenny. Oh, well, I had to try. Anyways, we got Cedric. He looks over here. Beta test. Get paid. So he's taking a number. And he's like, I like this place. It's cool. Then now they're fighting the Jackal again. I don't get it. Mindless destruction was never Miles's thing. What the? Dude, don't use my real name in public. Dude, I didn't. I was talking about the Jackal. His real name is Professor Miles Warren. Wait, your high school science teacher is the Jackal? Then, I pre-ordered a large coffee for Mr. Warren. Professor Warren. Why, Peter, lovely to see you, my boy. You too, sir. Ah, Peter, I think you're a little old to be calling me sir. Of course, sir. Miles, I'd like to introduce you to the best high school science teacher ever. Nice to meet you, Miles. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, too. Are you teaching here now? No, still at Midtown High. I'm meeting a friend for coffee. That's exactly why we're here. Great minds, huh? Here he is, Dr. Seymour Krebs. Not sure. Getting coffee qualifies as great minds. Me, I never want to see more crepes. You are such a child. I do like between them how Peter's the one to make the stupid jokes all the time. But anyways, webbing a guy's mouth over his mask is both ineffective and yucky. But anyways, you met Professor Raymond Aaron Warren, my high school's teacher, was a great guy. His younger brother, Dr. Miles Warren, is the Jackal and a jerk. Although maybe not the Jackal or this Jackal or this jerk. So there are the Warren brothers, like Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, just as destructive but far less amusing. And then they're at a play. Thank you. Been wanting to do this all my whole life. And then now, so what should we call each other in public? What do you mean? Won't it get confusing? We're both Spider-Man. I could call you Brooklyn, and yeah, I can call you Manhattan. That's not what right. I mean, I live here now, but I was born and raised in Queens. Fine, I'll call you Forest Hills, or you want to get specific? We could call you. We could call your whole street address, but I don't think they'll do wonders for your secret identity. Point taken. But how about you call me? Let's just do Pete. I'm overthinking anyway. We can just call each other Spider-Man. As long as there isn't a third Spidey, it doesn't appear we'll be fine. So anyways, it looks like they got him wrapped up and locked up. And then Juliet, wait. Anna, what are you doing here? I came for you, of course. For me, in the dorm, but you never seem to notice me. Notice you, you're all I ever been able to think about. But you know, I had to break up with Ricky before I dared approach you, which is exactly what I did. So now I can say it, Juliet. I love you. Please tell me you feel the same. Are you happy, Juliet? Happy. It's everything I ever dreamed of. So we get that quick cutaway. I don't know what it means to the rest of the story, but yeah, I guess they're coming up. But anyways, we got this little this fun little thing, so we can see Peter. We can see it's a different attempt by Peter every time. He changes clothes every time. He's trying to get him, Kong here, to remember his order. And it's just not going great. Not going great. And then finally, at the end, Kong just tells him his order. And he's like, yes. Just kidding, Pete. Wait, really? Whoa. So Peter has officially become a regular. Yay! The main conflict of the story is resolved, people. We can all celebrate. Anyways, yep, he gets his drink. He became a regular. Only took 12 weeks. And then, yeah. And now, yeah, now things have gone a little arachnobatic. It's a question of leverage. Oh, and they are getting them all caught up here. So essentially, they're doing what it looks like they're doing what they did before, but on a much bigger scale, and getting them extremely fucking tangled up. Jackal Hulk here may be strong enough to web shred, but with no purchase, no leverage, he can tug all he wants, and those webs won't shred. They'll just stretch. Are we finishing each other's sentences? Dude, we are so in sync. Jinx. You owe me a medium iced half and half latte with a shot of espresso and a dash of cinnamon. You are such a child. Later. Well, he tranked and bound for the raft. Yeah, that's where he's going. But where did he come from? I didn't even know this section of the laboratory existed. But when I turned on the power of the main lab, it must have awakened the creature. So it looked like some sort of experiment broke out. At least no one was hurt, thanks to both of you. Hold that thought. Because someone was definitely hurt. We should have known. Guys like us don't get to have something normal in our lives. Eventually, things always get arachnobatic. By the way, did you come up with arachnobatic? Yeah, you like it? Totally. Spiderific. Did you just... You did not just say that. I know. I regret it instantly. Hey, I saw your ad. Love to get... Now I'd love to get paid to have fun. So... Next, what lies beneath? So this book is a lot of fun. I think Peter and Miles have some absolutely fucking fantastic chemistry. I just thoroughly enjoyed this book. I'd probably go 4.5 stars on this. Probably my only quip would be I wasn't a huge fan of the artwork, and mainly where the artwork I think kind of failed was with Peter's face. Like when they're in Spider-Man outfits, I don't care, but like, yeah, Peter's face just kind of doesn't work for me here. Like, yeah, that don't work very well at all. That's about it. Other than that, the artwork I think is fine, and like the other characters I think are fine as well. When we get little woke lesbian stuff, like ignoring the fact that the last book was just about a gay couple, but yeah. So like here, like Peter's face looks off and Miles looks fine. I don't know what it is. Peter's face does not look good in this book. That being said, still really fun read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope to catch out the next issue, but this was fun. I enjoyed it, and I think Peter and Miles make an excellent duo. I think they have great chemistry together. Fantastic book. So that brings us to EFAP. Everyone's favorite EFAP. So they just covered the Anthony Gramuglia video that we watched. So let's we didn't see the whole thing, but we saw the beginning. So let's go ahead and dive right in. 4 hours ago. So this is very recent. We'll probably have to do some jumping around to find it. That terrible sin.
I'll be
of the terrible sin of jumping around during the video. If you ask an EFAPper, that's the worst thing you could do, be bad faith and jump around during a video. It's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible crime. Okay, let's see. Do they cover it immediately? Okay, they're covering it here. Okay, yeah, this is the very beginning of it. Okay.
Desktop, keep it desktop.
What if the majority of their viewer base is now... Are people fucking using Watch Together on mobiles? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
So.
I sure don't.
I sure fucking don't either. Also, hi Theo, how you doing?
Hello. Lawrence.
I'm doing good.
This is it's perfect for you because it's a video that's bad.
Whoa.
You're gonna love it.
Incredible. Yeah, it sounds like we'll agree with.
Wow. This sounds like you're going in with bad faith, Mahler. A video that's bad? Don't you think you might be veering your audience towards a certain way? I mean, that's something you criticized the shit over YMS for when he critiqued Critical Drinker. By the way, YMS was extraordinarily fair to the Critical Drinker. Extraordinarily. And you were just like, oh, you're being bad faith the way you're going into it. And then you're going into this just saying, oh, it's a bad video. Dude, hypocrite much?
Because of all those YouTube liars.
Well, that's
we
the
share
thing.
a common enemy.
This is, and we'll probably say this as we're going through it as well, feels like a trip through history. He covers so many arguments that we have over the many years of this show running. It feels like a celebratory video. Like, it would probably be perfect for, like, the 1,000th episode. But since we're so far away from that, I figure we'll just do it now, you know?
It's
have a
few
little
months
look-see.
away, yeah.
Yeah, a few months. So, well, since it's not a short boy, we should probably get started. As long as you're all prepared and ready and excited, I don't see why we wouldn't just
Prepared as I'll ever be.
Yeah, same.
jump in.
All right. Yeah.
As I said, the name is...
Yo, that started at 4:20.
Oh, he's got one of these icons. I already know he's a terrible person.
Oh, no.
You just know. No,
It's
I'm right.
laws of the
when everyone who has
universe.
one of these icons is a terrible person and they're an insufferable lefty. You just know.
An animated icon? Dude, Rags. Your icon's a fucking dog. But yeah, just being an animated icon is a yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's gonna be great. You're being
Anthony-
mean because
Oh
you
yeah,
don't
it's
like...
a bit of a long one. It's a bit of a long one, yeah.
A little bit. I'd say it's slightly longer
that's
than
alright.
like 10 minutes or 12 minutes or whatever.
What takes a long time to address all of the YouTube critics?
There's so many liars.
We're
They're
liars.
everywhere. We gotta get them. Hopefully, we can help him
Alright.
identify the YouTube liars.
No, this is already interesting. So, the title, YouTube critics are should not be capitalized, but he knew to not capitalize too. So that's interesting. So he knew to do it.
You
but
giving
he
him
was
like an
wrong.
8 out of 10 score for that title then? Something like that?
I think so.
Not bad. It's up there.
Anthony Gramuglia. Let's see what
So,
Anthony,
can
Mr. G.
Can I
has
point
to,
out what I like
say
about the
here.
title? Is he would say it as bad media criticism video essay, while I'm seeing it as like he's talking about bad media criticism, while I see it as a bad video essay. You understand? Like it's like perfectly titled for me and for him.
Whoa.
It works on multiple
I
levels.
feel like
the
he's
themes.
not wrong that they are lying to you.
Well,
You know, the vast majority of them.
I
But
would say
Listen, they would never be bad faith and preload a video with their own opinions. They are going into this honestly, guys.
we'll see how he cashes that out.
Hold up, hold up. You know how when you no, it went away. Oh,
Oh,
it was
I'm
funny.
sorry.
You know how sometimes when you open up the like a YouTube stream, it has that stupid AI like overview of what's going on. I opened it up and it was funny, and then I was going to tell you what it said, and then it went away.
I
What if
still
I
haven't
come
seen
back
that
to
on
it?
my end,
They're-
unfortunately.
they're
me
so.
see if I
Are they
can get it
just?
back.
Can you just request them, or do they come up like automatically?
I assume they're gonna roll them out like one by one.
Because they're funny as
to
fuck.
people
I've never seen an
in
accurate one yet.
brackets. Yeah, same. And I stream a
Okay.
lot, and I never see it.
I got it to come back. I rejoined the page and I got it back. So let me read to you what it says.
Okay.
Okay. Theo is a popular guest on the show, and some people are requesting that he make more videos. The chat is also discussing a video review of the Fallout show, which they are calling legendary entertainment. Others are questioning the validity of the reviews and the ethics of the YouTube drama.
You know what?
The YouTube drama.
Again, the fact that people treat these guys like what they say is fucking objective is shocking. These guys are just condescending assholes. I don't know what else to say. They're clearly condescending assholes. The fact that anybody treats them seriously is bizarre. EFAP fans, if you're watching this, dude, like these guys are just dipshits. They are. What the fuck?
Accurate.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a.
I'm just glad we had popular
Actually, you
guest
know what?
Theo
Never
on,
mind.
but-
Admittedly
Yeah.
broad.
We have been wondering when you're making more videos.
Backed by popular, you know, someday.
In the previous one that I missed because it went away, it said that we were joined by a guest streamer, Theo. So,
Streamer?
Ooh,
yeah.
Theo's
Hey,
streamer.
You're,
Oh,
what are
you
you doing
stream
right
now?
now?
Never told us.
Fucking
Oh, I guess
checkmate.
so.
Fucking
Does it-
checkmate.
Wait, if you're on someone else's stream, does that count as you streaming?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess.
Totally, 100%.
Because I always stream on someone else's channel. Technically, I guess.
Rags
so.
the streamer.
Well,
Yeah,
fair
I'm
enough, I
Rags
guess.
the streamer. And Metal streams on Mark's channel, so he's a streamer.
Yeah.
Why do you always do this to me?
Mel streamed Bloodborne last night.
That's true. You were streaming on Mahler's channel, and Fringy was streaming on Mahler's channel.
Yeah.
And I was streaming on Mahler's channel, and Theo was streaming on Mahler's channel. This is like a what are they called? A reunion.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday.
I mean, I would like to get to actual points before we wrap up. Okay, it looks like they'll get started soon. Okay.
Well, yeah, for those who don't know, we did just hang out for a bit.
I mean, the only point I get to tell you is that they're going into it incredibly dishonestly. Like, they aren't even watching the video. They're just saying, "Oh, it's bad." And this guy has a shitty icon. By the way, YMS was way more giving to Critical Drinker. Way more. Watch YMS's coverage of Critical Drinker. He goes out of his way to give Critical Drinker the benefit of the doubt as much as possible. As much as possible. And even then, when YMS went on the show for them to cover that video, they talk about how bad faith he is going into it. And this is 10 times worse, but apparently it doesn't matter because EFAP can do whatever they want. Apparently, the rules for thee, but rules for what is it? Rules for thee, but not for me. That's EFAP. That's their motto, I guess.
I was playing Bloodborne. That's in the playlist if you want to see it, the gaming one. But now, though, we got to turn our attention to this PSA in the form of a video essay where he's going to inform us of the liars that are creeping around every corner on YouTube.
Oh boy,
it's gonna be interesting.
I'll probably do a list and see who I'm gonna need to look out for.
Collect them up.
Instead, can we watch Satan's Blood Burial?
Mm.
That sounds fun.
Oh
Look
yeah,
at
if you want to watch that,
there. Huh.
we can watch it during. We put it on a second monitor. I'm sure that won't be annoying as hell. Be great.
Asylum of Horrors.
18 big acts on stage for the crawling thing.
Caracum horror, the crawling thing, yeah.
The creature from outer space.
Space.
I hate it when they come from
two
outer space.
chillers to turn your dreams into screams.
Ooh. Whoa.
Ooh.
That's just crazy.
Have you guys ever done that? Have you ever woken up from a dream and gone like, ah?
I get bullshitting during a stream, especially during the beginning, but they literally had the video queued up. There's a point where it's like, okay, the video's queued up. Let's go ahead and start going into it. Like, if the video wasn't queued up and they were just yakking, I get it. There's a reason why I was skipping forward. I was skipping forward to wait till the video was queued up. And now, even with the video queued up, they won't fucking... Who gives a shit?
No.
You ever had a nightmare like that?
I don't think so.
See it in movies all the time, but no.
Because it happens in movies a lot,
Yeah.
but I've never done it. And no one I've been around has ever woken up.
I've woken up with an elevated heart rate before, though, I guess.
Sure.
I
I
was
guess
crazy.
that makes sense, yeah.
I want to know what that one in the top far right says. $10, is that free death fright?
Ooh.
What do you
Well, it
think?
can't be free.
Yeah.
$10. Well, to be fair, back when this was made, $10 was like $1,000.
Exactly, so it's definitely not free.
It's even less free than I had once thought.
Quite an expensive death fright.
Well, I mean, there's nothing better than critiquing the person's background. That appears to just be old movie horror posters, which actually I think is kind of cool looking, but...
Yeah, I'd rather just see the robot.
When
Alright.
Kong Skull Island first hit theaters, the YouTube channel CinemaSins
of
did a
course.
video detailing all the ways the film sinned in their popular Everything Wrong With series.
Now,
I mean,
a video
that's a good
called
target, I'd say.
YouTube critics are lying to you. I actually think it's incredibly fucking boring to start with CinemaSins. It's like...
Yeah, maybe it just starts slow and then
This
cranks.
He's giving you a history. He's doing a fucking setup. Fuck, he's like a sentence and a half into the fucking essay. Holy shit.
Conversation has been had 1 billion times over. Do people still think CinemaSins inspired everyone to not think about anything other than plot holes? Because that's
what EFAP probably doesn't want to admit. Because a lot of the people who are on EFAP started out criticizing CinemaSins, and there's a lot to criticize CinemaSins over. They get a lot of shit wrong. The only thing I will give CinemaSins credit for is whenever they're called out on their bullshit, they essentially say, well, we're just joking. We're not to be meant to be taken seriously, even though they sell it seriously. And that is at least something. EFAP is like a mutation of CinemaSins, but like 1,000,000 times worse. They nitpick everything except without thought, without logic. God, compared to CinemaSins, compared to EFAP, CinemaSins is like the well thought out version of nitpicking, which is gotta be fucking damning for them.
something that they try to push, right? I feel like it might have moved on now. I think Drinker might be the new person that is going to start enveloping that boogeyman. he reviewed Furiosa positively, and there was a tweet that like went partially viral just saying "stay away from her."
Yeah, and
Which is like,
he-
what the
he
fuck?
quite like the movie, so yeah.
That's what I mean.
It's just so indicative of like, oh, you just read the title and made assumptions
Yep.
of your impressions you have of that person. So just gonna do a little tweet and go viral. Yay! I got viral
engagement.
Engagement.
I guess, like, I don't know, YouTube critics. It's like CinemaSins, and this is going to sound weird, so let me explain myself, is almost like a meme channel. And I guess what I mean by that is I don't think you go to CinemaSins for a breakdown of the meaning of any particular, film, or even...
Okay, so it was an issue. Not so much anymore, but it used to be an issue where people would use CinemaSins as a citation to prove that movie is bad. That used to be the go-to. Now it's usually these dipshits. And God, I never thought I'd say I missed the days when it was CinemaSins, but Jesus.
And how good it is. You go to him to have some fun where he pokes fun at films. Isn't his thing? He does it to all films. That's like his subtitle. No film is without sin, something like that.
No film is without sin.
And
Yeah,
I guess
I've
so, yeah.
never seen. I can't recall meeting an individual who takes these videos seriously as like substantive criticism.
So I would then develop that into what he does is for fun, and he's messing around with the film. However, I do think it's important that he's accurate. He can make, a coherent criticism of a thing, and it can make you go, "Oh yeah, wow, they fucked that up." But sometimes he can get it wrong, and we should equally be like, "Oh, you shouldn't get them wrong." The response shouldn't be, "Shut up, it's just a fun channel." It should be, "Yeah, you should probably, whoops, that was a mistake."
Yeah.
Definitely hit and miss, which is more than many can say.
Well, as our coverage has shown, we find that he is more accurate than Cinema Wins, but they both have exactly the same problem. Neither of them work hard enough on their videos.
Being more accurate than Cinema Wins is not a...
Being more accurate than Cinema Wins? Cinema Wins, I haven't seen a whole lot of Cinema Wins. I don't know. I'm not really prone to call them out since they actually are calling out, like, good things in movies. That seems like a thing that, frankly, we need more of on the internet. Anyways.
A very high bar. So...
As someone
really
said,
worthy
pitch meeting, far superior and filled with a lot of genuine criticism. But, he's probably made mistakes here and there, but as long as he's not like, well, the mistakes don't matter when it's not in a context where I'm referring to myself as a critic as opposed to if it's like a comedian, but they just get details completely wrong that builds up a story they're telling or a joke they're telling.
You know who else gets things completely wrong? EFAP. But they won't admit it. Jesus Christ. Are they going to get to this? We're a sentence and a half in.
The implication, of course, is if they were to correct those details, then it somehow makes it worse. It's like, well, no, it'll make it better, right? If you get your source material. It's kind of the whole point of this. Because he watched Skull Island and then made fun of it. Because I don't know if you guys know where this is going already, because I knew this had happened. The creator of Skull Island was very mad at CinemaSins for his video.
Oh, really?
Yes. Which, up to you how you want to respond to someone on YouTube making a video about how your movie sucks. You can try and correct them, I guess. It's up to you. And
you can always ignore it.
Obviously, we haven't seen Kong Skull Island in some time, but hopefully we can remember enough of it to be able to comment on this section of the video. But yes, we're opening with CinemaSins as the YouTube critics that are lying
Good
to
friend
you.
of the channel.
Yes.
Long time.
That's not even what he has said. He's setting up this video. We're a sentence and a half in. He didn't say, hey, every person I go over here is lying to you. He's doing a setup. Oh my God.
He's very fond of
friend
us.
of the channel.
Tight homies.
CinemaSins. We go way back.
Way back.
Way back.
This would have been an unremarkable video for them if not for the director of Kong Skull Island, Jordan Vogt Roberts, taking to Twitter to criticize the video. Tons of movie reviews are criticized by their creators, but Vogt Roberts' perspective gained traction because, well, he was right.
Ooh.
I didn't read all of that. Why did you put that on screen if I'm not going to read it?
Yeah, I paused.
Because this is extra information. If you want, you may pause the video and read all of it. It is essentially he's going to summarize it very quickly, but if you want to go into the details, it's right there. It's kind of just like a citation, essentially. Like His essay's going over something and he's showing you where he's getting it from. It's a fucking essay, guys. He's gonna have citations.
It's partially to go back and partially to say that the thing that he showed from the CinemaSins video was a valid criticism of the movie. So, not a great idea that you decided to show from his video a criticism of the movie that makes total sense.
I don't want to harp on this too much, but do we have to leave the breaths in the?
Oh,
yes, we do.
There'll be plenty
I
of
didn't
things
realize
to
that.
note.
I'm gonna hear it every time now. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Well, so and I just to say both of you, I find to be completely accurate on this. But just to bolster what Rags has said, I fucking despise it when you put this much text on screen, and I don't know if you want me to read it or not.
Yeah.
Okay, if he goes over it word by word, then yeah, he wants you to know it. If he doesn't, then it's on there for you to pause and go over if you wish to, but you don't have to.
Is it just supposed to be like, this is definitely an argument of thing I'm talking about? Moving on.
Yeah, and so it's like, so
I guess we can.
We'll read it.
Can we?
Mystery. Oh.
Yeah, let's. Okay. So that's right.
Oh wait,
this
we
is
okay.
Kong Skull
The
Island
director of.
Right.
Kong
happening?
Skull Island director pinpoints the problem with CinemaSins. With shouldn't be counted. Jordan Vogt Roberts took issue with a new video in the series. They're often just wrong or think they are smarter than you. Well, if you're a movie director, it's very likely that they might be, as we've seen the last couple years.
Wow, you're not fucking cocky at all.
They are often.
Yeah.
They are often just wrong. Sure.
I will say that the reputation of anyone who makes movies in the last 5 years, that reputation is tanked. So let's see here.
I saw someone asking, "Is Fringy okay?" He's charging. He's getting ready. He's in the trees. He's about to jump onto the neck of this video and snap it like Kermit.
I'm drinking my coffee. All right, it's in my kookaburra.
No, Dane, these guys aren't bad faith. What are you talking about? This is a good faith analysis, right?
Mug, and I'm drinking it, and it's.
You have got to show us a
imbuing me
picture of
with
that.
Frank.
You can't just say Kookaburra mug without showing us a picture.
That's true.
Nah, I'll maintain the mystery, but it's a nice
Damn, that's
it's
fucked up.
It's a Chongo Kookaburra mug, and it's great.
Wow.
It puts a smile on my face whenever I look at it. I'm like, hey, Kookaburra.
What kind of coffee?
I don't know. It's like
Just
regular
coffee
coffee.
brands.
I guess a flat white.
The coffee,
Yeah.
bean juice.
Is it not the coffee of your favorite YouTuber?
Oh yeah.
No, it's
What
not.
is-
It's just I don't
is
know
that
what
a
brand it
reference?
is.
Oh,
I have a feeling this is the whole video. Hey, Dane, if you're ready for me to jump into a room, we can wrap this up, but we'll go over this a bit longer if you're not ready.
it's just another thing
Every
that's been
YouTuber does
popular these
coffee.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
the new thing
YouTubers
is
do
like coffee, or at least was for a while. I don't know, still is,
okay.
but
I hadn't
there's a lot of
noticed that
YouTuber
myself.
coffee out there. Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
Factor a lot. I see Factor a lot.
You
Yeah.
also get a lot of
I mean, I think we've already seen what's happening. It doesn't even matter how good this video is. It doesn't. This could be the best video essay ever. What I've seen of it, I thoroughly enjoyed. I won't call it the best video essay ever. But even if it fucking was, the way they're pausing it every couple of seconds just to break down every element is already making their fans think it's bad. They haven't given it remotely a chance. It's entirely a bad faith criticism of every fucking element, one at a time. It's fairly disgusting what they're doing.
like Gamer Fuel, whatever, right? Like assorted flavors.
Gamer subs.
Oh, gamer subs.
I mean, I notice how lots of people criticize me because it's like, oh, you paused them in the middle of the point. I try to let them finish their point before I critique it or debunk it. I do that with everybody. There's lots of times where Nerdrotic will just go on to a fucking 1 minute, like, fucking stream of thought filled with bullshit. Complete fucking bullshit. 50 things to debunk. And I will wait for him to fucking finish and make his fucking point before I fucking debunk it. These guys aren't even willing to do that. They're just like, we have to pause it for every fucking word, and then we have to break down every fucking word that's on the screen. And, this is infuriating.
I've heard good things about gamer subs. I got friends who use it, and I've got a guy I watch who goes for it. So yeah, I've heard good things about it. I've heard bad things about G Fuel though. They're pretty shady behind the scenes from what I've heard. So.
Wow, that sponsorship is out of the window, Rex.
Yeah,
Thanks.
fuck
It is
it.
out of the window. Yeah, based on what I've heard, yeah. It is. Let's watch this video, I guess.
All right.
Kong Skull Island. Jordan Vogt Roberts taking to Twitter to criticize the video. Tons of movie.
Kevin Smith rants and raves about. Why are you capitalizing everything? Kevin Smith rants and raves about creators and.
All right, we are going to go ahead and talk with Dane because apparently there's updates to this story I didn't
critics
even know
at
about.
comic.
So give me a moment to get that queued up here. And Dane, if you are still listening, pretty much as soon as I get in there, you will be live. Ooh, the room. The room where it happens. That should be fine. All right. Okay.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hey. Hi.
What? Huh?
Hi. What?
Huh?
Okay, so first of all, I think you're making a mistake in assuming that I know more about this than you. I just know a certain part that I happen to see on Twitter.
Okay. Well, no matter what, we can have you here to wrap up because I will. I have to pick my kids fairly soon, so that we can wrap this up. Because, goddamn, they aren't getting anywhere in that video.
Dude, it is really fucking bad. Like goddamn, it's almost like they do it knowing that anybody that is is able to actually pay attention to what they're doing is going to be extra frustrated by watching them. So they're like doing it as kind of like a fuck you,
yeah,
kind of way to like us in particular, people that are able to spot their bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I just happened upon a tweet from JXC who responded to Anthony on Twitter saying, that your video is very bad, dude, or something like that.
Really?
And, no no reason given. I can grab that if you want. I figured you had found that stuff. That's what I thought.
No. I decided to cover this before I took my nap. Then I took my nap and woke up for my stream.
I see. So, well, then you don't have the full story, Bob, and that's bad faith. Okay.
True. I'm very bad faith. I can't help it. It's in my nature. Okay.
What about that one time whenever you fucking what did you do? You searched through that Doctor Strange review.
I know.
Looking for
Mahler to be a bigot.
I actually just made a graphic about that.
It was very foolish of me. Like, I should know better. He goes on other people's streams to be a bigot. He doesn't do it on his solo videos. How silly of me.
It's pretty silly, man. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty silly. Silly town population Bob. You're the fucking mayor. No, check this out. I don't know if you can share a screen or what's looking like on your end, but I'm gonna share the screen here.
Yeah, if you share it, people will see it.
Cool.
Oh, Wolverine, nice.
You see that?
What? Oh my god! Well, I can't get past the first sentence though.
It's a rough one. So it's a tough pill to swallow, Maulerites.
I think if I were a Mauler fan, I would just read that first sentence and be like, oh, every time I see that name, I need to remind him of that.
That's bad faith. It's bad faith. Hey, you can't just go saying factual things and then backing it up with evidence. That's bad faith.
Yeah, it's very bad faith.
Anyway, so yeah, I figured I would just like kind of share that around and see what happened, because it's like it is actually upsetting how often people say that to you. Like, and I see them saying it to you a lot, and I can only imagine that you see it way more times than that.
Oh yeah, no, it's all the time. It's like, my God, that was like, it's going on 2 years now, and that's all they have. And like, for some reason, it's burned in their fucking brain. And I'm like,
And they think that like that is also just like enough to just discount you as a human being,
Yeah.
basically. Like, even if it was something bad faith and or whatever, which it's not, because I'm, as proven here on this image, there's a decent reason to kind of look for stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's just bizarre to how they fucking cling to it. Anyway, so all right, let me pull this up now. Get rid of that. Show this. So yeah, Anthony had
Okay.
tweeted, "Looks like I did something right to rustle their jimmies,"
Mhm.
because yeah, that is an accurate read of them deciding to cover it like this.
Yeah, very quickly.
Right.
I mean, dude, like it took them a couple weeks to cover my video, and I think maybe a week on Pillar, but like they were on this one fast. They were
Yeah, it's almost like I wonder if you can kind of read it as like I mean, of course, there's other considerations like them having their schedules available to get together and do it, but like I feel like probably the speed with which they respond to this stuff is like somewhat indicative of how concerned they are about this
Yeah.
criticism.
No, I wonder about that too because it seems like they're just gonna get faster at it because they feel like they gotta get on top of this shit.
Oh, look at this fucking guy in here.
Oh
Oh my
God, Pilar of
God.
garbage. Oh, bad faith.
If I could jump in a time machine and give advice for my to my being EFAP self, it'd be to take some time off Twitter and stop checking YouTube comments for a week or so. You're not going to miss anything of value. Otherwise, I wish you luck.
I
Yeah,
almost
definitely not going to be responding to random hate.
I almost replied to this because, like, I don't know what it's like for Pillar, but like, I still get these guys like nonstop. It's insane. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say who it is, but our mutual friend that has a relatively small channel that happened to be on a stream one time with one of us.
Yes.
And talking, and and he got a bunch of shit. Well, how long's that? It's been over a year and a half now.
Yeah.
At least.
Going on 2.
Well, he got a comment the other day saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you still think Mahler is racist or something like?" It's like, holy shit, man. He hasn't mentioned Mahler or anything in all that time.
I cannot stress this enough. Our mutual friend does not cover these guys on his channel. He just covers like media. That's it.
That's it. But because one time he was on a stream talking about it, and he kind of like basically just mentioned, yeah, I don't know, man. These guys need help. They're unhealthy, and I'm not talking about necessarily about EFAP. I don't know, but I mean, I know that the people that behave that way are not doing okay in some way. So yeah, they tried this against his Twitter.
Yeah, I
account
was not
years back.
seeing
Okay.
JXE.
So here goes JXE.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude, but I watched your video and it was not good. Well, shit. Okay, better delete it then.
Yeah. Well, if JXE doesn't like it,
quite frankly, the idea that a bunch of YouTubers as large as yourselves even acknowledge the video is proof of something I did something very right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Also, you've been making, I mean, that's honestly, Anthony, you made a pretty good video. And, not that Anthony's watching this, but you made a pretty good video. This last line is giving them more, kind of like more leeway than they deserve, being like, oh, like to the criticism of it not being a good video.
Well,
like,
shit.
oh, only started 5 months ago. It doesn't matter. You made a great video.
So here we have a little twist. So this isn't even an update I would have been aware of. So a while ago, like not a while ago, but like JXE called out fucking quartering, and I did that quote tweet pointing out how this is the stance of a lot of people who are EFAP guests. And I point out Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, Chris Gore, Shadowversity.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a result to that. I am now blocked.
Oh. Whoa, you roboted. Did you say you're blocked?
Yes, I am blocked by JXE now.
Wow. I wonder why that is, man. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's an argument that he doesn't have a counter, or I'm sorry, she doesn't have a counter to, and yeah.
Didn't you used to kind of be friends?
Oh yeah, no, we were friends for a couple months there.
Oh, that fling, huh?
Yeah, it was a couple months ago, or a couple years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
So
it is. That's, I don't know. It's kind of interesting that was the route that she went with you on that. To like, I don't know. It's speculation, of course, but like kind of feel like maybe it's because you were friendly for a couple of months that she would just decide to block you instead of
Yes.
like deal with you in any other way.
Yes, it's noteworthy.
Oh God, poor Ant. No, he has
Yeah.
to have learned by now. It was Rags. Oh no. You know, yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'll probably like there was that X-Men video that Anthony Gramuglia did a couple months ago that I was kind of interested in watching. I might go ahead and watch that. What I saw of that video was fucking good. I think
Yeah.
they did a great job. And
And I said this. I said, you know, I was thinking we should invite Anthony on the show, maybe, and you know, I don't know,
I'm
do
game.
some
Absolutely.
support on there. I mean, look, that's how we got Pillar of Garbage to be our friend.
True.
Was after he got attacked by these guys. Like,
Yeah.
So that can just be our tactic now. I don't know. No, it's
Well, hey,
you know, Anthony and I had a couple of exchanges that were frustrating. I think I said some mean things. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'd be willing to be accountable for it, depending on if he remembers it all. You know, back on Twitter a few years ago, because he had a different approach to Comicsgate than I have, which was like basically just not to cover them, and I was going right at them and covering them. You know,
well,
and
I will go ahead and take devil's advocate on that one because there was a long period where my approach to these anti-woke YouTubers was to ignore them.
Well, you know, but the thing is,
yeah.
though, the specifics of that example was that Ant was right. Now that I think about it, because it wasn't like I'm covering Ethan Van Sciver, and because some people would tell me not to cover him, and I'm like, hey, well, it doesn't matter if I cover him. He's like large enough that it doesn't matter. What I was doing was I was reacting to one of these Twitter sycophants that Comicsgate has, like really just little shit gibbons that exist on Twitter to be pieces of shit to people, who had like mined a bunch of stuff from my Twitter feed and like started making really gross comments. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to fucking show what kind of piece of shit this guy is. And people were like, you shouldn't do that. You know, like that's what he wants. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm going to, you know, so I was reacting for sure. And the thing that pissed me off is that Ant and none of these other people that, you know, have criticized or known for criticizing Comicsgate, they'd never really shown my content any support before. So it was just kind of frustrating for them to come out of the woodwork suddenly to tell me what I shouldn't do.
That would be frustrating.
And I think that is somewhat of a valid criticism on my part, but it's still not anything worth you know, holding a grudge over. So.
No. Hey, we can make a lot of friends because honestly, it seems like if EFAP targets somebody, it's usually because that person's being at least reasonable.
Totally based.
Yes.
Or totally based. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Watching
man,
that video is totally based. So.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that they're just harping on the CinemaSins thing for so long.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're
Dude, that
front-loading it all,
CinemaSins thing is like what, a minute or two of his video? It's like he just glances at it real fast as like the first example, essentially.
The video essayist approach tends to be, especially when you're starting out, is to kind of give a quick oral history of the topic on which you were kind of introducing people to. You know, and that makes sense that he would do that. So yeah, I don't know. It's silly. You know what we should do sometime is come up with a list of things that, you know, like challenge. I think I've kind of done this before. Challenge EFAP to not do these tactics when covering something.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking spend several minutes before the video starts just talking all this mad shit and filling your audience full of that.
Well, what are you suggesting? An EFAP stream be less than 8 hours long?
Yeah, I mean, that really does seem like the thing, right? Is they're just like they numb people's mind into submission or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they break down the video so much and stop it so much that it doesn't even matter what the video is about. They've dismantled it to the point where it's not even the same fucking video. When you're watching it through EFAP, that's not the same video as the original video at all. They have broken it down. Yeah, I guess you could argue they're making fair use, but then they're also trying to claim, oh, we've destroyed this video. No, you haven't. What you've broken down is nothing.
If you notice what they do too is like, it's not like whenever they pause the thing that they're going to respond to what was just said.
Yeah.
It's often just whatever one of them has thought to say, and they pause it just whenever they want to. and then that's often in the middle of a point.
Yeah.
Which by the time they get back playing the damn thing, people aren't remembering what the hell was being said. It's a lot of like really, I mean, kind of oddly subtle ways that they do this, and they get away with not actually criticizing the videos in many cases.
Yeah.
Because they just don't know how. They're literally
Yeah.
just fucking bias machines. They're fucking obfuscation dildos. That's what they exist for, man. Like just like a dildos for getting you off or whatever. They're for obfuscating. I don't know why I'm using dildos. It's just...
No, but yeah, I mean, they just nitpick it to oblivion. But Dane, thank you for coming on.
Hey man, thanks for having me on. I'm doing a Fabcast here in let's see what. About 3 hours. We're going to be talking about it's a bit of an exit, a debriefing of the Krakoan era of X-Men. It's officially pretty much over now, and we're going to talk about it. And then the people that are trying to retcon the Krakoan era of X-Men into a failed experiment, which is an interesting thing. But we're going to be talking about it. Maybe
I wish I knew more about it, but what I've read of it, I like. I'm also excited for the reboot though as well. But yeah,
it's 5 years of awesome comics. I would just start digging in. You got plenty of life ahead of you. So, thank you guys. Thank you, Organized Chaos's audience. And yeah, peace.
Yep. Thank you, Dane. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. Yeah, I don't have much. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Podcast. Doing a podcast tomorrow. That will be covering we're covering Doctor Who. We're going to cover everything that's been released so far, the Shudigatwa stuff. And then we're also going to be covering what else? Inside Out, the original 2015 movie. And God, there's something else. Discovery. We're finishing off season 2 of Discovery. So it's season 2, not season 5. We'll go ahead and get caught up with season 5 when Lower Decks is on, since we've fallen behind on it. But yeah, we'll discuss Discovery, Doctor Who, and Inside Out, and that'll be the podcast. And then I am not streaming again after that until a week after that, when my daughter and I will be covering Collective Soul. We're going to go see them in concert on Tuesday, and then we'll come back with concert footage and an album ranking. And that'll be the Monday after that. And then those are my only 2 streams for like the next 10 days. It's why I did these back-to-back streaming days. Because I don't have my kids right now. This is my little window. I'm going to have my kids for the next 10 days. So guys, everyone, I'll be excited to come back to streaming. But, it's great having you guys here. Have a good one. Party on. Be excellent to each other. You know all the jazz. And I will see you guys here in a couple weeks. And I'm excited to get back with the initiative and stuff like that. Just taking a little break. But yeah, guys, have a good one.